Okay, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where in the world you are. Welcome, everyone. We are going to start our session right now. So this is the non-formal education as a key component to reestablish our relationship with nature. We are the World Organization of the Scout Movement, and we are very glad to have you here so we can all share our ideas and experiences on how this type of education has really strengthened our relationship with biodiversity and the environment that so much need our support right now. Before we start, a couple of basic setting ups. First one, we would like you to ask to turn off your microphone, turn on your camera because we would like to see you and meet you. We are going to be trying to interact during the session. And last but not least, this session is going to be recorded. Actually, if you guys have any connection problem or would you like to take a look after the session, this will be uploaded and I'll be sending it by email so you can have a look. I also would like to present the staff of this session. Today here we have Cassie, Zubair, and Jimena Ojeda. We are the youth representatives from the Scout movement, and we all are part of the environment work stream. So we are very happy to have you here. And my name is Grecia Bárcena. I'm from Mexico, and I'm also very happy to be having this session with you here. So what is our today's plan? First of all, we're gonna be having a dialogue with very important project leaders from different parts of the world and different experts that have been working with non-formal education, but also they have been developing different projects to impact others in their community. After the dialogue, we are gonna have the chance that you ask any question that you might find interesting to them so they can know more about you. And after that, we're gonna have a breakout session because we wanna hear from you. We wanna hear your ideas and different ways to take non-formal education to help other people to enjoy and know more biodiversity and nature. Finally, we're gonna get a group picture and we're just gonna get some final remarks from our speakers. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write it down in the chat. And it's very happy to see we are so many people. If you can start putting us in the chat from where are you from so we can read you. I see people from Philippines, Burkina Faso, India. Brazil, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Canada, Senegal, oh, very international, Peru, India, Ontario in Canada, Japan, awesome, California in the USA, Mexico, Hungary, excellent, many ones from Mexico, great, Bangladesh, excellent. Mexico, great. Okay, so first of all, before we start, we would like to ask, what do you think is non-formal education? So we're gonna be sharing with you here in the chat a link to a platform that is called Jamboard. And here you can create a post-it and start adding your answer. Let me share the board here while Jimena helped me to put the link in the chat. Here, there you go.
There you go, that's a link.
Thank you. Okay, I already see some people in. So it's very easy to use. You click on here on the nota adhesiva sticky note, and then you can put here your answer. What is for you non-formal education? It can be any, there is not wrong or correct question. We just want to hear what do you think from it is this. If you have problems using the board, you can also text here in the chat if it's easier for you. I see the first post coming. Thank you. Education outside school. Definitely, it's something that goes completely out of the school and the structure of normal school curricula. Thank you. This is nice. Passion-driven learning. Learning by doing, exactly. Experiential education. Great. Education for life, totally agree. I think non-formal education is a lifelong process. Activity to reach educational objectives, correct. The sports field, yeah, I think it's empowered by different types of sports. We have another one here that it says takes place outside formal learning environments, correctly. And it can be combined with many topics. And here in the chat, we have learning outside the four walls. That is correct. Complement, yeah, it's a complement. Learning and applying real life skills. Interactive education through non-formal approach, correctly. Activity to reach educational objectives. Tanya here in the chat tell us education out of a school or university, it is more practical. I think practical is an important word here. Passionate learning, complement. Okay, great. I think we all have similar flexible, I think this is very important, flexible education. So great. I think we have a basic on what it is. And just to put everyone into the same page, exactly as some of you were saying, non-formal education replaces to that kind of education that is planned, it is structured, and it has a program, but it's applied in a very practical way, as we were saying, by learning by doing. And at the end, what it looks for is that we have different personal and social types of education that enhance young people to be active citizens and acquire different types of skills and competences outside from the normal curriculum or structure of university or school. So perfect. This is just for all of us to have the same floor. And based on this, we're gonna be speaking about different cases and projects that people have been doing. Okay, so over to you, Jimena.
Thank you so much, Grecia. Thank you everyone who's here. It's very nice to see you all, see so many people connected for something as beautiful as non-formal education and our environment. What I want to do is introduce our speakers. These people have done some very cool projects around the world that are helping conservation or eco-entrepreneurship or our environment itself. So thank you very much to you three. I'll start with Mary. Mary Petit Waniku. She's a member of Kenya Scout Association. She's also an MOP hero, which is a Messengers of Peace program from Scouting. And she's the establisher of the Brown Olive Project. She loves Scouting because it has given her a wider knowledge about nature and environment conservation. Her greatest role is to ensure the environment is protected, to plant the indigenous olive trees in order to curb the climate change and mitigate global warming as guided by the SDG 13. Give it up for Mary. Thank you so much for being here. Our other speaker is Boris, oh my gosh, Boris, I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Vujnovic. He's 28. He's the Chief Commissioner and Scout Guide Association from Croatia. He's from Zagreb, Croatia. He studied on the Faculty of Political Science on the University of Zagreb. involved in different NGOs for over 10 years, and most notably the Croatian National Scout Youth Council, where he represented the NYC internationally and worked mostly on topics related to youth policy and youth rights. He's a former member of the Croatian government's Council on Youth and the Council for Civil Society Development. He joined Scouts as a kid in primary school, and after which he became a Scout leader and started volunteer on different activities and projects in his National Scout organization. After finishing his appointment as a Chief Scout in Zagreb, he worked on the implementation of the Baranka campaign, the reforestation of burned areas in Croatia. Thank you so much, Boris, for being here and for that amazing job. And last but not least, we have Elisa Landa. She's a student of biomedical engineer and a member of the Scout Association of Mexico since 2011. She's currently the director of strategic alliances within the civil association, Villa Ag. And since January 2020, she is part of the team of young leaders and the project called Santuario de Jolote, the Axel Sanctuary. This is the first biological initiative that seeks to save the Ambiostoma velasquez, the axolotl species, which is the largest distribution in the country. The project has participated and has been selected finalists in national contests for social environmental projects. And it is also classified as the best environmental scout project in Mexico. Congratulations to our three speakers. As you can see, we have pretty amazing and remarkable people here to share with us. So thank you, and back to you, Gracia. You're muted, friend.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. We're gonna cut the presentation here because the main objective is that we start having a conversation with our speakers. And if you start having any question, please feel free to write it in the chat. And we will give time at the end to discuss about that. So we know non-formal education has always helped us to get a broader knowledge of different topics, but specifically on better and deeper knowledge on what is nature, what is environment, what is biodiversity, and how it has, how we understand the relationship we have with it and interconnection. It gives us the fact that we have our activities in the outdoors and we have the possibility to have practical and fun activities to really start understanding our surroundings. So the first question I would like to ask to our speakers here is, how does non-formal education has helped you to understand nature? And which kind of activities have you undertaken that really make you feel closer to nature? I don't know, perhaps Mary, you would like to start? Can you hear us? Well, maybe in the meanwhile, we have Mary back. Boris, would you like to start sharing with us what is, how does non-formal education has helped you to understand nature, and what kind of non-formal education activities you have undertaken that makes you feel closer to nature?
Hi, non-formal education is really the centerpiece of our Baranka campaign, of our reforestation project. Everything that we did according to some non-formal education principles. Our project is divided into three different parts. The first one would be, and probably the most important one, was the education of kids and young people in Croatia regarding climate change, fires, wildfires, and how to prevent it all here in Croatia on our Mediterranean coast. Through that, we really did a great job educating more than 10,000 children and young people who are living mostly in those areas which are greatly affected by wildfires. Divided our education into two parts. The first one would be a part which was more theoretical in a way, because we managed to find a lot of partners, institutions and companies who joined us in our reforestation activities, like, I don't know, the Croatian Forest, which is a Croatian company, which is they do the reforestation actions in Croatia. So their people who work there came, helped us educate children and young people how to reforest themselves. After that, we organized reforestation activities. So every young person or child who was educated in the first part had the opportunity to join us and to be the change he wanted to be in his local community. Because a lot of cities and larger towns in Croatia on our coast are greatly affected by wildfires, and probably every person living there has had a situation in their lives where there was a big wildfire threatening their city or their town. So it was really important to us to include everybody and to give them the skill set how to prevent climate change, what can they do, and how to take action in their own local community.
Thank you. Then I think it's very important that they learn about the wildfires and how this can affect not only to their community, but also like into a global level, contributing to climate change, and how important it's to contribute from a local perspective on the ground. I think that's amazing. And the volunteer campaign that you guys did also has mobilized so many people. So it's also great. Thank you. Elisa, what about you? What, through the Axolot project, how do you think this type of education has helped you guys to understand more nature? And which kind of activities have you undertaken with the project that makes you feel closer to nature?
Hello everyone. First of all, thank you so much for the invitation. I am really flattered. And of course, yeah, Boris, I didn't know about your project, and it is absolutely amazing. Also, Mary, well, we talked a little bit earlier, and well, first of all, I would like to congratulate you all, because it is amazing that even though that we are from totally different countries, different cultures, we are still interested in making a change by involving other people. So yeah, I wanted to start with that. So yeah, regarding the question, in Villa, we seek to contribute to the development of distinct society sectors of the Mexican society by non-formal education programs for the improvement of the environment and the quality of life. So we actually want to distinguish ourselves by the learn doing, learn playing method. So yeah, nature is basically how the world works. Understanding the different systems that make it up is vital to reinforcing their protection. Therefore, non-formal education brings me closer to people. It allows us to connect with different topics that have an actual and have an actual impact while having fun. So inspiring and getting people involved in social environmental issues helps me understand nature as a complex universe that it is and our relation to it. So as I told you before, non-formal education is a great deal in our project. It has helped us interact with young people and empower them into believing in themselves. As a Scout World Award base, non-formal education is vital because we are also a Scout of the World Award base. Our activities are based on it. As every Scout member, we love non-formal education. We're educated according to it. So also part of the success of our discoveries is due to the contact with nature, from sitting in a tree, thinking about how you can make the world a better place, from visiting local communities and analyze how is their relation with the environment? How can you help? Is there any way that you can actually help them? What problems have you detected? And yeah, so these non-formal education methods is really important for us. And personally, it helps me understand the very complex system that it is, the nature, by getting close to them and finding a way in which we can help. Because understanding the whole systems of it, it's impossible. Nature, it's simply perfect. And as imperfect human beings, we can actually understand something that it is so important and amazing. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Elisa. I think indeed, I totally agree. It can help us to connect with various topics, but also to connect with the local community, which at the end, they are the people who will let us know and help us to understand faster how this interconnection and this complex system works. So it's very amazing what you guys are doing as well through raising awareness and these conservation activities. Awesome. Now, jumping into, like we are saying that non-formal education really help us to understand, but I would like to know how through this type of activities, this type of learning by doing, playing, and fun activities, do you think this type of education has influenced your relationship with nature? Do you think it's closer or it's farther, or you still feel like a part of it? Like, I would like to hear from you, Mary, if you can share with us how does non-formal education has influenced your relationship with nature?
Thank you very much, Gracia. I hope you're able to hear me because my network is a bit poor. It keeps on disconnecting. All right, thank you. Talking of the non-formal education in relation to my project, they have really helped me get able to reach the community, because you see the project is
Oh, Mary, we lose you. Oh, I think we lose her, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe if she can hear us, she can try without the camera and just the micro on. Sometimes that helps. She's still with us.
Let me see if she's connected here. I think
sorry for that, Gracia. The network is a bit poor here.
No worries, Mary. Thank you so much. If you can repeat your whole answer, because we couldn't hear you.
I was saying that the non-formal education have really played a very great role in my project, considering that the whole project is totally based on the community eradication. And using the non-formal way of education, I'm able to reach the community, that is both the public and private institutions, the schools, the churches, the mosques, and also the community groups and the main groups who are in the society. So what I normally do is by visiting the schools and just request to get some minutes with the students, both the scouts and the non-scouts from that school. And I just have a small session with them concerning environment conservation and the simplest ways to protect our environment by just collecting the litters around them, planting a tree to mark their best days, especially for the kids. I normally tell them to mark their birthdays using a tree, and just a simple way of educating them on how to increase the tree cover. So they find it more fun whenever they have an activity at school or maybe at home, they mark that activity by planting a tree. And that makes it easy for me to reach them. I donate trees to them. So I tell them whoever wants to mark an activity for this year, they should come for a tree from my nursery bed. And also the community, these are old men and women from the society. So I tell them that they should come at home. I donate a tree to them. And now they ask, why are you donating all these trees to us? So I just find the simplest ways to explain to them why we should plant trees. And I tell them this tree, once it grows, it will be a fodder for your livestock. It will be good for your for your farm, your soil, and also it will increase your agricultural products. So I tell them that they should take care of that one tree. And these old men and women, sometimes they'll come at home and they'll look for me and help them plant trees. So every time we do a tree planting session, we normally have this talk, an informal talk about environment. And I use the simplest term and also make it more fun to them why they should plant the trees. And I try and make them understand that these small efforts they are doing to the environment, they are of great impact later when these trees will grow and they'll mature and they'll get back to the environment again. And I make them understand why we should take care of them and why we should plant a specific tree and not just any other tree. So it is a very informal way of educating them, but it's really very impactful. And you see, when we make these small efforts to the environment, that's what I normally explain to them. I tell them the environment is
I think we lose her again. But well, I think Mary shared really important things with us, which basically the most important thing is the sense of belonging to, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. If you want, finish your answer, Mary, sorry. It's okay. I think it's okay. No worries. So I think the most important thing that Mary was telling us is the importance of the sense of belonging to nature, and that she's doing it through sharing these trees with the community and explaining them why it's important and the benefits that this type of tree will give to their family, to the crops, to the soil that they are working on. So it's really important. Great. So as we know, we are now in the worst crisis ever, worse than the COVID pandemic, which is the environmental crisis we are going through right now. And I even will call it like emergency, because we are going through so many loss of biodiversity, and the climate is a mess around. So we as society, as active citizens, have a really important role in trying to change the behaviors consumption and production behaviors from our own community, so we can really start shaping a new behavior that will take us to live into a more sustainable way. So I would like to know how, if through the projects that you guys have implemented, does your consumption behavior change as your relationship with nature was grown closer? So as you discovered more, do you realize you were consuming and not really having these responsible habits, and how does it change? Boris, I don't know if you would like to start.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
My connection is also not very stable, so yeah, consumption behavior.
We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
My Zoom froze, sorry.
No worries. Boris? I think the connection today is not playing well for us, but no worries. I think this is common nowadays. Maybe meanwhile Boris reconnect with us. Elisa, you can answer the question, like how has your consumption behavior changed as your relationship with nature has grown closer?
Oh, now I feel kind of nervous because I believe, no, suddenly my connection is going to fail, but it seems like bad luck opening your microphone. But yeah, I mean, first of all, I saw a comment here that Diana Carrillo asked, where can we learn more about the Scouts of the World Award? Well, it is international. I don't know, I believe that you're from Mexico. But yeah, if you're from here, you can ask us, or there's actually a representative for that program in each country. So you can ask them, or you can ask whoever you can, and you can also search on internet, on the internet. So yeah, it is an actually a pretty amazing program, because it's not only for scouts, it is also for people that are just interested in helping, and they don't know how they can help, what they can offer. So yeah, I would really encourage you to look forward into it. It is really amazing. But yeah, back to the question. I definitely feel more connected to nature by this non-formal education, because finding ways that let other people be conscious about the needs of nature, and how we can balance not only our actions but our life according to it. Those moments where people actually get that light in their eyes, and they're just like, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to help like this. So those are the moments where I just feel the closest to nature. So yeah, I believe that's the thing. I really love that. But I don't know if that answered the question, or you would like me to go a little bit deeper on it. I'm not trying to take the time out of the other presenter here, because I think Mary already has a good connection. We can come back to me, or
Yes.
how you'd like.
No worries. No worries, Elisa. I think some of the things that you're mentioning are really important, especially because once we start spending more time out in the outdoors, we kind of start realizing and developing some types of feelings, and especially our sensitivity level grows, because we're starting to understand how, and like, these ecosystems or these zones are like in danger, or we are kind of like a threat to these spaces. So we kind of start shifting or realizing that we need to start acquiring better behavior consumption patterns. So I think it's okay. Boris, are you here? Can you hear us? Maybe we go back to you.
Yeah, I'm here. Maybe my answer is connected also. Maybe my answer is also connected to the second question as to the third one. I believe that we must do everything that we can to include children and young people from early age into environment protection activities through non-formal education, in a way that they can really feel what our lifestyle and our actions are doing to nature. For an example, in our project, the Boranka Reforestation Campaign, the centerpiece is when a child gives life through reforestation, when it puts the first tree, the first plant in soil, and it gives life. When our young people and children become the ones who give life through nature, who are active in that action of giving life. They are not just looking or seeing somebody else do it. They are on the front lines, giving new life and helping nature to help itself, and to I believe that is the way every man can become really a part of the whole ecosystem we live in.
Thank you. I think this point you brought up, it's really important. The fact of giving life and share these, how can we call it, like these opportunity, because normally it's a female characteristic, but the fact that we can give the opportunity to everyone to give life and really feel like the responsibility to do that, I think it's very important. And also it creates memories that will last forever in your mind, and that will also always keep as an inspiration when you want to do something similar to that kind of activity. Great, great. And I hope that these kind of memories always come back when we are gonna try to buy some products, and we better choose the local ones, the ones that create less impact, the ones that are more just to our community, and that they are fair in the payment that local people receive. So thank you so much. Now we're gonna jump into the last question, and this one I would like to that everyone answers it, because it's really important. You know, through scouting we learn values, and through the whole like non-formal education we acquire different kind of skills and competences, but I think it also gives us different values that will prepare us for the real world that we are gonna be facing at one point in our lives. So I also think that through non-formal environmental education, there must be some values that we acquire. So how do your values towards nature translate into concrete actions? So once you acquire those values, how do you transfer them into actions like the projects that you guys did? I don't know, this is an open question, so feel free to start. Perhaps, okay, good, Elisa, go ahead.
Yes, hello again. This isn't actually it is a very powerful question. At least it got me thinking a few minutes, like, wow, I mean, what personal values is what makes me feel more connected to it, and why do I do things, you know? It really got me thinking. It was like really existential question, but really, really nice. So yeah, first, my values towards nature. I believe that identifying what makes you find a meaning in your actions is very important for their actual impact. I associate nature with mainly three values that are respect, responsibility, and gratitude. So those three words are the ones that brought me into this project. And so, well, the axolotl is a wonderful amphibian. Maybe a lot of you don't know it, but it can actually partially regenerate any part of its body. You can cut off an arm, half of its heart, of its brain, and it will grow back. So it is amazing. So it absolutely amazes me. And on the other hand, this cute animal is native from my country, from Mexico, for which I am so grateful, but most of it, I feel responsible for its care, because if we don't take care of it, who is gonna make it? Anyone else. That's really important. So while we can't save a whole species now, we can take care of the species near to us, reach communities so that they can improve their relationship. This is by targeting their needs, because that's something really important by doing community service, and something that we also encourage a lot in the Scouts of the World Award. You can't make up problems or issues. You have to actually come in touch with the communities and talk to them about what are your needs. You know, what are the problems that you personally identify, and going from there, you can actually make an amazing impact, because you can connect their needs with the benefits of living with nature and not at expenses of it. So it is this kind of values that are mainly respect and responsibility. Those are the ones that brought me into actually taking action. So yeah, it would be really cool if everyone here got thinking about that what are your values? How can you make a change? How can you make an impact in your own communities? Because sometimes we think, no, we're too young, for example. That's what we thought. Now, like, how a 19, 18-year-old people is going to make a change. Well, we did it. We got together. We made it because, well, this project is a year and a half old, and we started with, for example, 18 years. I started with 18 years. Now I'm 20 years old, and now I look back and it's like, wow, the whole everything that we've made, it's absolutely amazing. So I really encourage you to find your path, to find the way in which you can impact, and there is no age. There's absolutely no limits. The limit are the ones that you put yourself in. So yeah, that's my answer. And thank you so much for the question. I really loved it.
Thank you, Elisa. So I guess, like based on what you said, it will be responsibility, respect, and I also heard through your examples, kind of resilience, like the axolotl, right? Okay, thank you so much. Mary, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thank you, Gracia. My values are almost close to what Elisa have just said. And I would like to add something on that. It's something about passion. When you have passion for something, you'll do anything to ensure that you get that thing, or you reach what you want. And
Oh no, Mary, come back.
when you're passion driven, doing passion.
Now we can hear you. Passion,
Right, yeah. So my passion for environment conservation and nature started as early as I was a Cub Scout. I was in grade 3, and you see this passion have grown up to this level now that I'm a Rover Scout, and I'm able to do a project that will educate the community and also the young scouts. And once you have this passion, you want to know your purpose on this earth, just like all of us were created, and we were created to fulfill a certain purpose on earth. So myself, I feel like that purpose is what I'm doing now, and I have to, it's my responsibility to ensure that I'm very cautious when it comes to everything that I do to the environment, whether it will leave a positive or a negative impact. So when you always have that in mind, you find yourself that you are always considerate wherever you are doing, either to the environment, to the water, and to the soil, all these biotic and abiotic factors of the environment. When you factor in mind that we're scouts and the non-scouts in school on how to keep the environment clean, and I see them following the instruction and also collecting litters around their compound and also participating in tree planting, I feel like it is very impactful. Whatever I'm doing, the non-formal education I'm offering to them, it's very impactful. Globe, we have to take care of it. So they feel that it is also their responsibility to take care of the globe. So one thing is about the impacts that we do, and also the purpose that we are here to do, to ensure that we contribute positively to the globe. So by establishing this project, I feel like I'm doing the right purpose to the globe to ensure that it is well taken care of, and the impact it has to everything that I do that contributes positively. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. I think indeed passion it's a force that drives our actions. And even when we are like, if everything has failed, but we have passion, we will gonna be able to really push it forward and make it happen. So it's amazing. And just I'm gonna take some of the comments here in the chat. As Rodolfo is saying, the environment situation right now, it has like, it's really broad and it has many ways we can contribute to it, from planting trees like Mary, like bodies, like to conserve an species, an ecosystem, but everything counts. So it's really important that we are driven by that passion, so we can really make a reality, like a sustainable world where we want to live. Okay, Boris. So we jump back to you. How do your values towards nature translate into actions?
Firstly, I need to say that I completely agree with Mary and Elisa on their points. And I would really also like to comment the comment from the comment section here. Taking care of nature is really broad. In our campaign, when we do a reforestation action, we plant trees along a big hillside. A lot of volunteers come. Every volunteer plants a few trees, and after the volunteering action is over, we just put them together and let them see how a lot of little actions, a lot of people doing little actions, only planted 3, 4, 5, 10 trees. We together planted the whole forest on that hillside. And I need to say that the only way to tackle the problem of environment protection and the whole climate crisis is that the only way is to do it together. A lot of small actions, a lot of big actions together, a large front, and to bring as many people in the whole I don't know, battle front for the environment.
Thank you so much. Indeed, we need to do teamwork and work hard to really save our planet. So this is the end of the questions. We have had really like important issues, like inputs from you, and really like amazing stories from your projects. So guys, now it's the time. We're gonna open the floor for questions for our speakers here. So please feel free to either write it on the chat or open your mic so we can hear you, and please just mention to who is your question for. Okay? We have a big long conversation in the chat. Casi Jimena, do we have questions?
I don't see any in the chat. I'm gonna try to look for hands raised. If you have a question, could you raise your hand on the Zoom? You go to reactions, there is a raise hand option. That way we can spotlight you easier. Please.
Okay, we're gonna give a couple of more minutes, and if there are no questions,
if there's somebody on the chat asking if he could speak in French.
Do we have someone in the team who speaks French that can help us translate?
Is Martin here?
Nathaniel, is it easier for you to type your question in the chat, and probably we can translate into English? Sorry. We speak Spanish, if that helps. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Okay, in the meanwhile, we have some questions. I'm gonna explain you the following, what's gonna happen next. We are gonna go into breakout sessions. We are gonna be divided into 3 main rooms, and you guys are gonna have the chance to express your ideas. through a Jamboard. We are going to be throwing some questions to you so we can get your feedback and then use this as a based information for us to work on non-formal environmental education. And after that, please choose one person of your team that will come back and share like a resume of all the ideas that you guys shared. Okay, so when we come back from the breakout session, we will have a kind of feedback moment to hear from every group what were their outcomes. And after that, we take a group picture. Okay, so there are here. Okay, I think we don't have questions. We can keep going.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put it on the chat. We'll make sure to answer them at some point. I'm gonna split you guys into different breakout rooms. You each should have a facilitator. If it's not in the breakout room and the moment you enter, don't worry, we'll get there and we'll start working. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think we're back. Thank you, Jimena, for bringing us back. We were almost done, but not yet. I hope you guys finished. I'm sorry for the technical issues we had on the team number 2. It was weird because we couldn't hear anything from you guys. And I think you couldn't hear anything from us.
Backroom time was over.
Sorry?
Backroom time was over. I mean, there was counting. The time was ended. That's why we are back here.
Ah, okay. Yes, completely agree. Okay, well, so just for us to start closing, I would like to ask for one representative from each team to share the final remarks or the main outcomes from the discussion you guys have on your teams. Because we've been talking about the values that non-formal education transfer to us, but also which kind of activities we can do to enhance this relationship with nature, and also the type of projects we can do with our community. So the floor is open. Cassie, I don't know who would you like to choose from your team?
Yeah, so we have we have Mario from our team. I invite him to share the discussion and to summarize what we discussed there for our team. Mario, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and hi everyone. So yeah, basically we had like a written conversation, more or less, but it was also plenty of information. We as a group had like the same ideas, and we all talk about camping, hiking, going outdoors, reforesting forests, or just taking care of our own backyard. Those are activities that makes us feel closer to nature, and that are easier to have with non-formal environmental education. Especially, I would say that especially in the South, in the global South, it is easier to get in touch with nature through non-formal education. Going to the values, we think our relationship with nature would represent. We also have very similar answers. So respect, empathy, responsibility, loyalty, compassion. And there was an answer that I loved the most, love. A lot of love. Love nature and respect. Then we shared which skills we have acquired through non-formal education, and there was a lot, but for example, resolve problems, leadership, resourcefulness, love for nature, creativity, resilience, how to access risk, etc. This was like a more plural, these were like more plural answers. And at the end, there was a lot of different answers on how we could, or how non-formal environmental education could change or could impact in our community. And I think this is because we come from different parts of the world, and every community have different needs and different problems. But I would like to read some of them. For example, it builds a stronger connection between adults and youth, making learning more inclusive. Or non-formal environmental education is one way where we can see through what is really happening in our environment and influence us to act and to do something about it. Non-formal environmental education makes people understand and connect with nature in a more intimate way. It teaches children to care about nature and the environment, builds a lifelong connection with nature, builds support for environmental protection and taking individual or action or group action, which is quite important, and culture and waste management and responsibility. And here was an example, storing cigarette butts in a PET bottle. That's a really big change. To live in a more humble way, that's also really, really important. So yeah, basically we had in some questions we had different answers, but in the others we had also like the same answers, and that was really, really nice for me. I really love it because it makes us we can with it we can know that scouting all around the world is pretty much the same, and we are looking for the same goals and the same objectives, and that makes me have more hope in our movement.
Wow, Mario, thank you so much for everything you shared. I think it's very valuable and very deep. Thanks to team number one, great discussion and great outcomes. Thanks a lot. From team number two, I don't know if who would like to step forward to share their outcomes. I know there was not such a big discussion, but I guess you guys wrote down the answers in the board.
Yeah, I can share some of the things that we wrote, summarize it up nice.
Perfect, Amanda, thanks a lot.
Oh, no problem. Okay, so some non-formal education activities that our group felt has made them closer to nature are basically what group one said, like hiking, camping. We got planting trees, meditating in nature was a big one. And also people shared some really cool projects that the Scouts have done in different countries. There was a silent trail program in Gilwell Scouts Nature Park in Sandakan, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, which sounds really cool. So basically the Scouts went hiking silently and just kind of looked at nature, which I thought was awesome. And then like there was an Adopt a Coast program for the Sea Scouts, things like that. Okay, so values that my group identified were diversity, like simplicity, respect was a big one, and humility, which is great. Some skills are problem solving, flexibility. You definitely need to be flexible with nature because you can't control it. Compromise, patience, and respect and responsibility. And outdoor skills like leaving no trace, which is important, especially for sustainability. And non-formal education, we felt brings meaningful change into the community by creating solidarity encouraging a critical view of the world, teaching valuable life skills. It provides opportunities to learn from the environment, making people aware of each other, and fosters like socialization. And it fosters a feeling of responsibility. So I think basically environmental education really creates good citizens and better citizens for the world, and solidarity, I would say.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Amanda, for these inputs. I think Team 2 did also a great job, and thank you for putting them together. Thanks a lot. Now jumping into team number 3, Mary is going to share with us the main outcomes of the group, which we also had a great exchange, and we had nice outcomes. So go ahead, Mary, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you again, Gracia. In room 3, we had a very discussion, and I'll start. We mentioned quite a number of values. We said that we should be ethic to the environment, we should be responsible, we should be committed to ensure that the environment is clean and well kept. We should have some love for nature and be appreciative of what the nature gives, because we have a lot of non-living organisms that we coexist well with, and couldn't do. It's what the nature gives us. And also we should be compassionate for our environment, because we have one earth to live in. So we should ensure that it is well taken care of, and everything that we do doesn't cause any harm to the environment and all the living organisms in the on the planet Earth. Then about how we get, some of us hiking. When people go hiking very close to nature, when they get to see the vegetation and a lot of natural resources, the rivers, the mountains, they get to appreciate what the nature have for us, and they feel close to the nature, and that motivates them to plant more trees to ensure we have such a big vegetation, like the natural vegetation that we have. Also, others mentioned something about camping. When they go for scout camp, they feel very close to nature, because at camping is where we get to interact directly to nature. We camp in the open areas, in the forest, in the bush areas, and we get to learn more about nature, the birds, the animals, the insects, and all this. Then on the other question about the non-formal education and how it have impacted the community, how it have been of help to the community, there were some answers from my colleagues that it have really helped to reach the community, because they normally use the simplest language to ensure that they educate the communities on matters about environment conservation. And non-formal way of learning, it makes it fun to educate the community, and it is the best way to make them understand why we should protect and conserve nature and the environment. Also, non-formal education have helped them get to learn the needs of the community, and they get the better solution for that, and how to interact well with the community using any fun form of education. Yeah, that was it.
Thank you so much, Mary. I think we all kind of share similar thoughts and similar values and similar understanding on this topic. So I think it's very important that we all try to do our best through our projects on the local impact with the global perspective to keep pushing to make this a reality for everyone and saving our planet. So we have come to the end. We would like to thank you everyone for being here, for sharing your time with us. And before we go, we would like to take a picture just to remember this moment and session with you all. If you could please turn on your cameras. So we are going to take the picture now. I'll be sharing the recording of the session and also a very, very short Google form in order to get your feedback on the session so we can keep learning and growing from these type of spaces and content we deliver. Awesome, I see many faces. Okay, so I'm gonna take the picture. I have three screens, so this is the first one. 1, 2, 3. 1, another one, 2, and the last one, 3. Okay, awesome. I got them all. Perfect. So thank you everyone very much, especially thank you to Mary, to Elisa for sharing your knowledge and your projects with us. Let's keep in touch and see you soon in another space like this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Thank you for coming, honey.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Let's stay in touch. Bye-bye.